Oh, this is cool.
We can't talk in the water.
We can't talk underwater?
You're running. You're running.
So if your goal is to become a fluent speaker of English, the kind of English speaker where you open your mouth and words just come out effortlessly, this video is for you. Unfortunately, most people will not reach their fluency goals. Most people start learning English and they might reach a low intermediate level and then just kind of stay there, stay at an intermediate level. And there are a lot of reasons for this. However, I think from my own personal experiences, excuse me, my own personal experiences with my son, who we are raising bilingual. My husband and I are raising him in English and French. So by observing my son, and also from my own studies, I have a master's degree in language and literacy education. And just from speaking to a lot of my friends who have learned English to fluency, there are 3 things that I think a fluent English speaker needs to do in order to reach that high level of English fluency. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video. Do you think I can fit into this pool? Or do you think I'm too big? Let's try. Oh, I do fit. I fit.
No, but then there's no place for me.
Come here. I'll make some space for you. There we go. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm too big.
Here, I'll move over. If this is not something that's interesting to you, please let me know in the comments. I only want to make videos that are helpful for you and that you learn from. And so if this is not helpful, let me know. Maybe let me know politely. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, relax, and maybe get a notebook as well and write down some of the points that we're going to talk about in this video. Or actually, don't do that. I'm going to create a PDF guide for you that you can just download. I'll link that down below. So if you are on my email list, every week I send a free email English lesson, a mini lesson of some kind, teaching something about English. So click the link down below in the description to sign up for my free weekly email lesson and to get the PDF guide for this video so that you don't forget anything that we talk about. All right, so we're going to learn how to become fluent in English like a bilingual child. The third thing that we're going to talk about on the list today, I think, is the most important one, or the most practical one that you can start using today. So don't miss number 3. And if you have children, this will help you. If you're teaching English to your child at home, I hope this video will be helpful for you, but it's meant for adult learners especially. Please let me know in the comments down below where you're from and what languages you speak. I would love to get to know more about you and more about your linguistic background. Okay, so the first thing that children do amazingly well, and I'm specifically talking about children who learn 2 languages from birth. These are called simultaneous bilinguals, and they're actually kind of a complicated type of person. Nobody speaks 2 languages, or very few people speak 2 languages exactly at the same level. But simultaneous bilinguals, this is what my son is at the moment. He's 3 years old. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So something that we don't talk about enough as language teachers in the classroom and as learners of another language is how important identity is. Identity. So learning a language is not like other skills. Learning a language is tied so deeply, so strongly to your sense of self, to your sense of who you are as a person, to your culture. Your identity cannot be separated from the language that you speak. I think that we know this, right? Like we all know this, but as we're learning a language, we don't really take this into consideration enough. It's so important. Yay, now we both fit. Here, look, there's water. Splash, splash, splash.
No water.
What is your favorite place?
Canada.
Canada's your favorite place? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes when we're in this process of teaching our children languages and learning languages. I make many mistakes myself with my son. The mistake that I see firsthand, that I see other parents making, because we live in a very linguistically diverse place. So the mom, the dad wants their child to speak more Spanish because they want their child to learn Spanish and English, right? We live surrounded by English speakers and they want to keep the Spanish strong. And so when the child says something in English, for example, I'm hungry, maybe the parents will say it in Spanish. How do you say that in Spanish? You're not going to eat unless you say it in Spanish. You have to say it in Spanish. The problem with this method or technique, in my humble opinion, because again, maybe this works for some families, but the problem with this is that children, just like adults, children do not like to feel tested and judged. Children do not like to feel judged. Adults don't like to feel judged either. Children want language to feel meaningful, genuine, and only to be used for real connection. This feels like a test that I'm going to get right or wrong that's going to make my parents happy or upset with me. And kids do not like that. Adults don't like that either. What about do you like going to the aquarium or the playground or the beach? What's your favorite place to play?
Aquarium.
Aquarium? Okay. What do you like better, going to daycare or staying at home?
Staying at home.
What do you like better?
What do you like better? Eating goose poop or eating goose poop or eating tomatoes?
Eating goose poop or eating tomatoes?
Yeah.
I like eating tomatoes better. This is not a skill that's going to be separate from them. It is a skill that is very much going to be part of them, part of their identity. And I think this is not too different from adults. When adults are learning a language, if adults really want to learn the language to a high level of proficiency so that it feels natural to them, they also have to develop this relationship with the language where it feels like theirs. If you want to speak English fluently, English kind of has to become your language in a way. You have to be able to sort of claim it. Maybe this sounds really strange. Looking at my son, looking at other children, and looking at adults like my husband and many of my friends who have learned English as adults. For them, English is very natural and it's their language too, even though they learned it as adults. It's kind of an interesting mindset shift, and I hope I'm making sense.
Do you like to eat goose poop or cucumbers?
Cucumbers. Definitely cucumbers.
What do you like? Monster trucks or onions?
To eat?
Monster trucks or onions?
Would I rather eat monster trucks or onions?
Yeah.
Onions. What about you?
Not onions.
You'd rather eat monster trucks?
No, yuck. Bleh, bleh.
Yeah, monster trucks don't taste very good.
Yeah, we need to throw them in the garbage.
Mm-hmm. Just like kids who we don't want them to see English or learning a language as a performance or something to be judged for or something that they can get right or wrong. Of course, there are things that are going to be right and wrong. It's just that being right or wrong kind of needs to be secondary, I think. Before we start introducing so much judgment and negativity, we really need to develop a way of making the language meaningful and a form of connecting with other people. Oh, I really, really hope that this makes sense. I'm just kind of like talking, but I hope it makes sense. Tomorrow, we're going to go to Science World.
We need to be quiet, okay? We need to be quiet.
We need to be quiet at Science World?
Yeah, because everyone's there. And if you do be loud, everyone say, "Hey, what's that noise?"
Oh yeah, everyone will say, "Hey, what's that noise?" No, it's okay. You can be loud at Science World. It's a place for kids. It's a museum for kids.
And grown-ups.
And grown-ups, so you can be loud there. I'm just using English to try to talk to him, to connect with him. And it's okay if there are a lot of things that he doesn't understand. It's okay if he's making tons and tons of mistakes. He makes literally hundreds of mistakes all day long, and this is normal. We're just trying to communicate, we're trying to connect with each other, and there's not a lot of judgment or critique happening when I'm speaking English with him. He often doesn't know, all the time, he doesn't know irregular past simple verbs. He just doesn't. And so he will conjugate all of his verbs with an ed ending. For example, he'll say, I goed to the park. I goed to the park today. And sometimes I might say back to him, oh, you went to the park. But most of the time I just say, oh, cool. I don't really bother to correct him because I know that eventually, from speaking so much English and hearing so much English in real, meaningful, positive context, he will learn. He will eventually learn how to say this correctly. There's no pressure, there's no judgment. And my husband does the same thing with him in French. He makes every interaction with him in French as positive as it can possibly be, or as meaningful as it can possibly be. It doesn't matter if there are a lot of things that he doesn't understand or a lot of things that he's missing because he doesn't know those words in French. It's okay. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that the two of them are having a positive interaction with each other. And by doing this, my son is developing his identity as a French speaker. It's becoming part of him. What's this?
It's a mask.
It's a mask. What kind of mask?
Water mask.
A water mask? A scuba mask? Oh, wait, I have my glasses on. Here, you want to wear those?
No.
Do they hurt your eyes? I'm sorry. I shouldn't put those on your eyes. I'm sorry.
Do they hurt on your eyes?
No, they don't hurt my eyes because they're my prescription. They're the correct prescription for me. My suggestion to you as an English learner would be to start to try to treat yourself and think of yourself as an English speaker. Despite how other people might judge you or label you, try to think of yourself as an English speaker. If you are understanding this video right now, you are an English speaker. This is not easy to do. I am also having a hard time with this as a French speaker. It's hard for me to think of myself as a French speaker or to claim French as my own as I am learning it and practicing it. But ask yourself, at what point can you consider yourself an English speaker? At what level will you feel comfortable saying, I am an English speaker now? I will never be a native speaker of French, but I can be a French speaker, right? Why not now? Claim the language now. My son is, and he has a long way to go. So claim the language now and then make it your identity, make it a reality that you are an English speaker. I hope this makes sense. Maybe I just sound crazy. I don't know. Oh, this is cool.
So look at it.
I'm ready to go diving. I'm ready to go scuba diving.
But you need to open your eyes.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to open my eyes.
We can't talk in the water.
We can't talk underwater?
You're funny. You're funny.
I'm funny?
Yeah, because you have a dude.
I look funny? Okay, number 2, the second thing that kids know, simultaneous bilinguals know as children. This one will be short, I think. Bad days are normal. Regressions, so learning some things and then getting worse at speaking, or doing great, feeling great in English one day, understanding videos, understanding people, and then the next day you understand nothing. That's normal. Plateaus are normal. So there will be times when you just are not learning as much. I would suggest if you're having a plateau, if you're experiencing a language plateau where you're just not advancing, you're not feeling like you're advancing, try reading something. Reading is a really good way to break into the next level, to break out of a plateau, because there's so much vocabulary to be learned. Make sure it's not too easy for you. Try to choose something challenging.
Yeah. Then let's try me. Let's try me.
Okay. You want to try it?
First your eyes. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, you look really funny.
Hello.
You look like a fish. As kids learning our first languages, we don't give up. We might have really bad days, but we're never going to give up learning our first languages. Everybody in the world, with maybe a very small percentage of exceptions, even if someone has a lot of difficulties learning their language, eventually they learn it. And it's because we don't give up learning our first languages. Our second languages, that's sometimes a different story, sadly.
Yeah.
He got a boo-boo when he was riding his bike?
Yeah, when he had his helmet, he was riding his bike and he fell.
Oh, but he was wearing his helmet?
Yeah.
So he didn't get hurt too badly, huh?
But he was hurted somewhere. Look, this is my boo-boo that I fell. And I have one here too. But now it went away.
Yeah, you got boo-boos when you fell off your bike, right? I was at a gymnastics lesson with my son yesterday, and I overheard 2 moms talking. One was a Farsi speaker, and the other one was married to a Farsi speaker. And they both had little kids at gymnastics. And both of these families had given up, had stopped speaking Farsi to their children, even though they have native speakers. The mom was a native speaker, and the other family's dad was a native speaker of Farsi. But they said that it just was too hard. It was too hard to compete with English. And so they just started speaking English with their children at home. As a language teacher and as a mom of a bilingual child, or a child who I want to become bilingual, this was very painful for me to hear. I just think it's such a gift that you can give to your children. I could go on and on and on, and I know it's not easy in an English-speaking environment, but I just think that we can learn from this lesson that the only way you fail at learning a language is by giving up. If you do a little bit every day and you don't quit, you will eventually reach your goals. The only option is to reach your goal. The only way you fail is if you quit. Oh my gosh, I'm talking a lot. Number 3, the third thing that we can learn from kids. This is maybe the most important thing that I'm going to talk about today because it's very practical. You can apply it right now, today. Any moment can be changed into a lesson. This is something that I learned from my son. After years of being an English teacher, I really learned this by watching my son and spending time with him. So I made a video a few months ago about how you can learn English or practice English in just 5 minutes every day. And on that video, I had some comments of people who said like, what? This is crazy. You can't learn English. You can't become fluent in English in just 5 minutes a day. And I read those comments and I think that they kind of missed the point. I'm not trying to say that you can become fluent in English by only ever practicing for 5 minutes a day. But the most important thing about learning English that I was trying to say in that video is that you don't give up. Most people will not reach their goals in English simply because they give up. Most people stop. And why do most people stop? It's because they think they set up a plan for themselves that is too hard. You have to sit at a desk every day and learn for 1 hour, or you're not learning English. I don't agree with this. So what I would like to propose to you is what I see my son doing every day, and also what I see other simultaneous bilingual children doing who are doing it really well. And that is at every moment of the day, no matter what you're doing, you could be having an English lesson. You can change every moment into an opportunity to improve your English. You don't have to be sitting at a desk or writing or reading a book in order to learn English. You might be scrolling social media, you watch a video, and you might think to yourself, how could I say that sentence in English that person just said? And then just quickly go to your translator, translate it in English, and you've learned a new sentence. Say it out loud 5 times. That takes 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes to do, and you've practiced English for 2 minutes. That's better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. And when you start to build this habit of, how do I say that in English? I'm just going to look at Google Translate because I'm curious. When you start to build this muscle and build this habit, then you want to do it more and more. And English just becomes part of your daily routine, just like a bilingual child, and not something separate from your life that you have to force yourself to do every night, because usually that doesn't work. Another one of the biggest mistakes that I see my learners making is that they associate pronunciation with being a very advanced skill. Pronunciation is not an advanced skill. Pronunciation is for everyone, and everyone should have the opportunity to learn about pronunciation, even at a very low level, even on their first day of English class. Your teacher should be teaching you sounds and about good pronunciation, because that is what will make English easier for you when you try to watch a movie or have a real conversation. And so if you want to learn more about natural, real spoken pronunciation, I suggest you watch this video next, and I will see you very soon. Please don't forget to tell me in the comments if this was useful or just me blabbing, blah, 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 blah.
This one smells like orange.
Mm-hmm.
This one smells like lemon. This one smells like watermelon.